We're at the plant tissue culture lab. Today we are going to be doing the process of creating the growth medium. The growth medium is basically all the nutrients and salt that are found naturally in the soil. In its chemical form, we're going to take it and create what is called a stock solution. The stock solution would comprise of macro elements, micro elements, an iron stock solution, a vitamin solution, and the growth regulators. The growth regulators would induce either rooting or multiplication or cell division in the plant. The growth regulators there are different ones, but the ones we use are the auxins and the cytokinins. The auxins is for root development, and the cytokinins is for cell elongation and cell division. So in the cupboard here is all the nutrients and salts, and this is what we use to create the stock solutions. There are other different ones, and all of these have to be weighed in varying quantities and dissolved in distilled water. The reason for using distilled water over normal pipe-borne water is to remove the iron and the excess ions in the water, as well as chlorine and any other impurities, to ensure that the water is as close to pH 7 as possible. That would make it easier for us when we are adjusting the pH, so we can find our baseline for the plants, which is either between 5.4 and 5.8, because we're working with subtropical plants, and that's the range in which those plants grow best. So when we create the stock solutions, and all of them are dissolved in distilled water, they are stored in the refrigerator to maintain the integrity. Some of them are light sensitive, like this one. The iron stock solution is light sensitive, so it has to be in an amber bottle to restrict the penetration of light through it, or it will degrade it. Other than that, we add different things to the media. We can add organic substances like banana or potato, coconut water. It depends on the type of plant, and depends on the nutritional requirements for that plant and the stage of growth and development that we're looking to put those plants under. So I will show you the process from start to finish, from creating one of the stock solutions to adding all of them, to creating the plant growth medium, to adjusting the pH, all the way to the final process when it is removed and placed into the lab in the growth chamber. Here we have one of the growth regulators, which is benzoline aminopurine, and we're going to create that stock solution today. So what it is 0.10 grams for 1,000 milliliters of water, and it's dissolved in sodium hydroxide. So first we have to zero out the scale after putting the weighing tray on it. Then we're going to weigh the desired amount, 0.10 grams. We have 0.10 grams. Then we're going to dissolve it in sodium hydroxide. A few drops of sodium hydroxide. Dissolve it with a glass rod. It's not fully dissolved, then you add a little bit more. stirring. And the next step will be to add it to a measuring cylinder and add the final volume of water till it goes to 1,000 milliliters. So now we're going to pour out the BA and we're going to add water to bring it up to the final volume of 1,000 milliliters. Just get everything off the tray, everything off the glass rod. The concentration remains the same. Bring the volume up. Check our volume. 1,000. Just put in our water to put into storage in the fridge, and it should last between 2 weeks to a month. The first stock solution we're going to add is MA, that's your macro elements. That's some of the most essential ones for the growth medium. We make sure we stir it first to ensure that whatever we pour in is uniform, and you have to add 100 milliliters per liter. So we're doing 16 liters. So we're going to first measure 1,000. And then we go to measure 600 for a total of 1,600 milliliters. You have to ensure that the bubble is on the baseline for accurate measurement. The next stock solution is MI, that's your micro elements. You have to add 1 milliliter per liter, so 60 milliliters total. You have to measure first 10 milliliters and then measure the other 6. Next stock solution we're going to add is MS5, that's iron stock solution. So this one is 20 milliliters per liter. So we're going to add a total of 320. The last stock solution is the BA we just prepared earlier. For this one, it's a total of 800 milliliters. So we finished adding all the liquid stock solutions. Next we're going to add the the dry material that we're going to measure on the scale. We're going to add the dry ingredients now. We're going to start with the myo-inositol. It's another growth agent for the plant medium. So we're going to weigh the tray as normal, minus the weight. And this one is 0.10 grams per liter. So you're going to add a total of 1.60 grams. The next one we're going to add is sugar. You can use glucose, but it's cheaper to use sucrose, so we use normal table white sugar. That will be the energy source for the plant that it breaks down in its processes. So you're going to add 30 grams per liter, so a total of 480 grams of sugar needs to be weighed. Last thing we're going to add now is the gelling agent. It's called agar. It is a powder similar to what gelatin is made from, but that's lab grade, so it has a higher tolerance to heat. So what we're going to do is weigh 7 grams per liter. So we're going to get 112 grams for the 16 liters, and that would be enough to solidify the medium. So we're going to add all the dry ingredients to the pan with all the stock solutions and the water. We have to dissolve everything. We're going to start with the sugar. We're going to add everything. Dissolve the sugar. The next one we're going to add is the myo-inositol. One of the last things we're going to add is the gelling agent, the agar. But we first have to do set up the pH meter to measure the alkalinity or the level of acid. So what it is on while we are stirring is called a hot plate. So what it's for is to up the contents of what is in the pan. We have to get the media to at least 25 degrees or room temperature so that the reading of the pH meter is accurate. Why this is done is because a lot of the stock solutions are in the fridge. So even if you add the room temperature water, the temperature will still be below the 25 degrees, so we have to raise it to the level it needs to be before we can get an accurate reading. So now all the sugar and the myo-inositol is dissolved. We're now going to set up the pH meter. First, you remove the storage cap. In it has filling solution, because in the bottom of the electrode is a probe. It has a glass rod on the end with tiny perforations. That's to allow the reading. So the storage solution is to keep the pores open, but we have to rinse it to remove that filling solution before. So we use this bottle with distilled water to clean it, to remove any of the filling solution that is on it. Remove the excess, place it in our pan. The other probe that is in here is a thermometer, so that's what will be taking the reading. So we turn on the pH meter. So when the temperature has reached 25 degrees Celsius, we switch it off and we remove the pan from the heating pipe. And then we have to bring the volume up to 16 liters. When we get our final volume, we go to add the gelling agent. So we slowly add the agar-agar gel or the agar powder to dissolve it. It changes the color of the media slightly, so it's not as clear as it was. But after it is autoclave and all the agar is dissolved and uniform, it will be clear. So now we begin the process of checking the pH. We use hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. HCl will lower, sodium hydroxide will raise. So our reading on the pH meter stands at 6.0.3. We have to bring it down to 5.7. So we're going to add hydrochloric acid to bring it down to 5.7. Use the dropper to add the desired amount. Every amount you add, you check the reading on the pH meter to see how the level is going down, to know how much to add. It varies based on the concentration of the hydrochloric acid or the sodium hydroxide, how many points it goes down, but usually maybe 4 to 5 per drop. So I'm adding enough to get it down below the 6, so it will make it easier for me to get the reading at 5.7. So the reading has gone down to 5.72. It will go up because while the hydrochloric acid is becoming more uniform within the media, the level will not stay the same. That's the purpose of always stirring it, to try and ensure the uniformity, so you will know the reading is more accurate. So the reading has gone up from the 5.7 to 5.73. So that means you still have to add more hydrochloric acid to get it down to the level it needs to be. So now I'll add drops to try and bring it down as much as possible so it doesn't go below the 7. So we're going to add a little bit more to get it to the 7. Now that it's at the 5.7 range, I can stop stirring and remove the pH meter and now get ready to dispense. So now that we've done checking the pH level, the next thing now is to dispense into the bottles. This is an automatic dispenser. What it does is it takes the volume from the pan. You can set the flow rate, the dispense rate, and the delay time in between when you're dispensing in each bottle. You calibrate the machine for that, and it dispenses that exact amount into each bottle, so it saves you a lot of time. You have to dispense at least 80 milliliters of water or of media into each bottle. So you place the input holes right here. You have to ensure you always stir the pan because the agar would settle at the bottom. So before you start to dispense anything, you have to make sure the contents is uniform. So you're going to place it on. It's going to. So now that the line is full, I'm going to place it on auto. I already put the settings for the dispense rate, the flow rate, and the time. So we're going to do an example. I'm going to dispense in one bottle. You see it automatically starts and stops. It has a 1.5 second delay time between when it stops and when I can transfer to another bottle and it starts again. So you're going to take the measurement to see if the calibration is correct. So if we measure it, we should get 80 milliliters. It's a little less, so we have to adjust the flow rate. So how you do that is you just place it off, press calibrate, and you raise the dispense rate. You set it back to auto. And then you run another trial to see. So you always have to check the accuracy of the calibration. Now it's closer to the 80. Now we're going to dispense the same amount into all of these bottles. Starts and stops automatically based on the time you set it. Just always have to keep stirring to ensure that the amount of agar is uniform. It doesn't settle to the bottom of the pan. I've got the same 50 milliliters in each bottle. The next one is to cover those bottles. The cover has a specific function. It prevents the air from entering into that bottle, which reduces the contamination rate due to air quality issues or any microorganisms that may be on the surface of that bottle, dust particles, anything from entering that bottle. But the plants do need gaseous exchange. So the purpose of the hole in the cover is to place a piece of cotton which acts as a filter to kind of mitigate the amount of air that gets into it, and whatever is in the air to at least be filtered to some degree. So that's the point of the cotton, and we just cover all of these and press it firmly, because the heat and the pressure from the autoclave, the covers are not placed firmly enough, it will cause the corks to come out. The first process we have to do is we have to fill the autoclave with water. These two devices you see are called autoclaves. What they do is they use water to create steam and pressure to heat the contents of whatever is placed inside of it. The purposes we use it for is, after we create the medium has to be heated. The heating process is to dissolve what is called the agar in the media. The agar is the gelling agent that allows the medium to solidify. It turns the media from a liquid to a semi-solid, and the agar needs to be boiled or heated at high temperatures to allow it to dissolve and be uniform in the contents of the medium for it to solidify at the end. So the first thing that we have to do is to add water to the autoclave. It is filled here. We open the valve on the filling cup and we add distilled water to it. There is a water gauge at the bottom, and we use it to see the level of the water. It must be within a particular range. Anything below that, the machine will shut off automatically to prevent itself from being damaged. And anything above that, it releases the excess water on its own. So you have to be within the range for operation. So it's filled here. Takes about maybe a little over 10 liters of water to fill both of them. You can zoom on the gauge when they knife on it, so they will see the level of water. So this is the water gauge. This is the current level of where the water is at. That's the range it must not go below, and that's the range it mustn't go past. So while I'm filling it, you'll see what happens with the water, and we'll get it to the level where it is operationally sound. So while I'm filling, you'll see the water level going up. And as it settles in the tank, you will see the true level of where the water is when I'm then adding it. After the covers are placed firmly on the bottle, we're going to stack two trays on top of each other. We're going to put an empty tray face down. The purpose of this is to prevent the occurrence of the covers popping out due to the high pressure in the autoclave. So we're going to now the tray of the autoclave, and we place the trays two at a time. So it takes 5 trays essentially, 2 here and 2 here, and you remove 5 bottles from, you remove the 20 remaining bottles from the tray and you pack it in front. Right.